I took $20 at work. We're supposed to share tips, but I just pocketed the cash. I took $20 at work, but we get tips, and this guy just tipped me a 20 when I did a bell run, and no one would know, so I pocketed it. We're supposed to pool tips, so really I only took 15. There were 3 other people with me. But I did all the work for that guy and had been doing all these bell runs while my 2 coworkers hadn't really done anything. I took the cart to his room, took his stuff, brought it down to the parking lot since he said he wanted it in his car. And then I went to get his car since it was in our garage. When I came back, they were just chilling eating chips, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'ma keep the 20. Not that bad, and I feel somewhat guilty, but yeah. I think that's dumb anyway. He tipped you, not anyone else. I've done the same thing plenty of times. We are meant to put tips in a shared jar that goes towards Christmas presents at the end of the year. But why do I need to pay for my own present? That money was given to me for a reason. Woman shrugging. Yeah, as a consumer it irritates me that my waiter/waitress has to share the tip. I gave it to that person for their work friendliness, etc. Not the other people. In pooled tips, whenever someone would leave above 20 in cash, I'd take what was extra above that for myself. Woman shrugging. Medium light skin tone, still contributing to the pool but taking the extra I got for going above and beyond for myself. Most of my coworkers agreed it's the fair way, and we would encourage each other to do the same. None of us were happy about the pooled situation to begin with. Once I received a $100 check from a woman who I gave free gelato a couple hours prior because she lost her wallet but ended up finding it. She said she specifically wrote a check made out to me so that I could keep every penny. This happened in 2005 and I'm still touched by her kindness. Don't feel bad, that's a normal thing. You may not have known how many times your coworkers have done the same without your knowledge. I'm sure everyone else does this as well. If he specifically tipped you because you did all the work, then I guess you earned it. Shared tips fucking suck anyways, because the hardest working people are making the most in tips, then having to share it with the laziest workers. Shared tips benefits the laziest person the most. Get a job where you don't have to pool tips with idiots. It's your money. You did the work. You keep the tip. Do not feel bad. Keep it. It's yours. Fuck tip sharing. This totally happened to me too. A customer gave me a $20 tip and I forgot to share it. I went home with the money still in my pocket. But the next day, I took it out. I don't think it is a big deal, but the pooled AMT is usually more than what I can get alone. I always tip the server directly. Restaurants need to pay fair wages. Lately in the US, credit card machines ask for tips in 20, 25, 30. Sharing tips defeats the whole purpose of tipping. It's supposed to be for good service. American-style mandatory tipping is alien and stupid to me. They do it too, don't feel bad. Pooled tips are BS anyway. A few years ago, when I was working at a grocery store doing curbside, a guy that first took groceries out handed me a $50 bill. I didn't even realize it was a $50 until I got back to the door and looked down at it. I glanced back up at the guy, and he just smiled, waved, and drove away. I stuck it in my pocket and didn't say a word to my coworkers. Still don't regret it, D. Nah, you're good, man. Don't feel guilty. You earned it. They didn't. Nor fuck that I hate tip pooling all around. I think it's a bullshit concept exactly for the reason of having lazy ass coworkers. Keep that $20 and don't have a second thought about it. Lazy people ruin shit for the people that actually work. No, he did all the work, and he deserved it. I would have done the same. I hate pooling tips. It makes no sense and just allows people to underpay their staff. You didn't get a tip. You need to work harder. Nobody is entitled to someone else's tip. Don't feel bad op. They've probably done the same in secret tears of joy. I'd definitely narc on 'em to the manager for slacking at their jobs when pooling tips is involved. Bro, I was a server for 2 years. You're good, we all do it. We were supposed to split tips at a restaurant I used to work at, and some of the managers would actually tell you to just put the tip in your pocket and keep it, since the customers didn't know the tip they were giving you was gonna be picked apart by everyone else. It's a generally stupid rule made to your job can pay everyone a little less. I wouldn't feel guilty. Everything is getting more expensive. If they want money, they need to earn it as well. I did the same when I was working in a hotel. Our tips were shared with everyone on the property. Also, my terrible boss with an anger problem. Places that tip share are horrible. You as an individual provide a service that is tipped depending on the quality of that service. Anytime I go to a restaurant or bar that tip shares, I give them a card stating that the tip is a gift and therefore exempt from taxation or sharing. Don't feel guilty. You and everyone else deserves their own tip jar. If tipping is expected, share. If the tipping is personal or performance-based, based solely on your performance, then sharing is dumb. I have colleagues that I have to tell to keep their tips because they feel guilty not putting it in the sharing pot. But as with the last instance of this, if I walk in time to say goodbye to a customer, I have no reason to receive a tip. He tipped you. No need to pull based on the description you described. Don't sweat it. Guarantee your coworkers would have and probably have done the same thing. This is absolutely disgraceful. Sharing tips is such a ridiculous thing to do. If you have 6 bad workers, 3 good workers, and 1 amazing worker, why do the bad ones get anything? Some people who work in small teams at places I've worked share tips because they want to, or because the patron has given the team a tip to split. Other than that, someone tips you, it's your money. Also, in Australia, you don't have to tip. If you want to, that's great. People appreciate the extra. You got tipped, you should have the money. You were just getting the money you earned, not your co-workers. Pooling tips is BS. The lazier holes get as much as you for eating chips. Duck them. Sharing tips is stupid and I hate it, and I do the same sometimes. Equality of outcome versus equality of opportunity. Really glad you kept the $20. You deserve it. Good. Your tips are yours. I think that's fair. They did shit while you were busting your ass and working. You definitely deserved the tip for doing all that work. I've never worked in a tip business except for maybe housekeeping, but tips were very rare for my hotel. If you are doing the work and the tip is given to you, then you shouldn't have to share. That person is giving you the tip, not these chuckle fucks. Pooling tips is dumb, take it, no worries. You are definitely the A.